India, Uruguay, Australia, and now Spain. The Minister of Finance and Public Service, Cristobal Montoro, has reportedly just announced anticipated measures in order to reduce the use of cash. In other words, Spain is going to make cash transactions even more difficult. As of press time, from what we can tell, this is yet to be reported anywhere in English media except here now at the Dollar Vigilante. As you can see, the chaos is increasing. Combine cash bans with attacks on fake news, more on that soon, and you end up disturbing a significant amount of people, as we've talked about here recently. This amounts to a trend, of course, of the sort we've been analyzing for several years now. We've predicted increased social chaos throughout the West and beyond because globalism is not built by votes, but by violence and widespread disaffection that allows globalist solutions to be rammed home. I expect cash banning to be sped up, along with selected attacks on the alternative media as part of a larger effort to create widespread social dissension. People believe attacks on cash and news are what they seem to be on the surface. They're not. They're a part of a much deeper strategy that involves additional globalism. We've expected just these sorts of actions and have profited from them for the past several years, along with our newsletter subscribers. We await more of the same. Currently, violence spawned by this anti-cash trend can be seen in such countries as Uruguay and India, where cash banning on large bills has ignited significant social chaos already. India is in the throes of riots, while Uruguay has been hit with a nationwide strike aimed in part at derailing a mandate that all employers must pay employees electronically via a bank account, starting as soon as March. You won't hear much about the results of cash banning because the mainstream media won't cover it, but the moves are doing their job, which is in part to inflict maximum social damage and make people aware that nothing they think they control is really theirs. The more easily absorbed reason for cash bans has to do with negative interest rates. People prefer to hold cash instead of receiving bank bills, and thus cash must be banned. Alternatively, nations are said to require more efficient tax collection that can only be generated if people can't hold cash. There are good reasons, from government's point of view, to try to ban cash. But as I mentioned, the larger reason has to do with riling up tax slaves. The more chaos, the better. Spain is already splitting into several pieces because of its endless oppression, which has resulted in over 50% of its youth being unemployed. The Catalans are ready to secede, and like the Basques, are foes of Spain's central government, and the Castilians that partially run it. Back in 2012, Spain banned large euro cash transactions, anything over 2,500 euros, as a matter of fact. Now with a further squeeze that apparently may include various VAT changes as well, the trap is primed once again. Such aberrant moves can bring a kind of civil war to Spain sooner rather than later. There hasn't been any violence in Australia so far, though Citicorp has now announced it won't handle cash at its branches there. Again, this is a trend we expect to continue and expand. It's not really about cash so much as shaking people's confidence in their societies. The kind of globalism our overseers want is not going to be built from peaceful treaties, or not to begin with. There's going to be blood. Bitcoin, gold, and silver are all viable alternatives as the chaos builds, and we've been suggesting them for years. Unlike many other publications, including alternative publications, that continue to disregard cryptocurrencies as valid stores of value. We knew from the start that Bitcoin would work, recommending it at $3 in 2011. People have become millionaires from our Bitcoin recommendations. And I'd also suggest you get a copy of our just published Bitcoin book, which is free to subscribers. Going forward, and given the growing amount of attacks on cash, you'll need to figure out ways to position yourself in alternative stores of value more than ever. You'll be told that gold, silver, and Bitcoin are also subject to confiscation, but unlike cash, governments have traditionally found it very difficult to control these non-cash items. They offer a valid alternative that you must take advantage of for at least part of your portfolio. Although it's important on how and where you store your precious metals. For that, we also have another ebook, free to subscribers, called Getting Your Gold Out of Dodge, which can help you to internationalize your precious metals. In the Dollar Vigilante newsletter, we discuss these alternatives at length at least twice a month, plus continual updates. It's imperative that you educate yourself and continue to follow what's going on via a reputable and truthful source. Our thousands of subscribers will vouch for our coverage, and once you subscribe, you will too. Plus, our worldwide group of subscribers can answer any questions you have in our private Facebook group. This is an incredible additional resource that many have benefited from. You can subscribe at dollarvigilante.com/subscribe.